Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that the price of XRP is no longer being held back. Instead, it's surging, faster and higher than most people ever predicted. That's not a dream, and it's not hype. Based on the latest on-chain data and major institutional moves happening right now, we may be standing right on the edge of an XRP supply shock. And in today's breakdown, I'm going to explain exactly why this is happening, how the puzzle pieces fit together, and why this next phase could completely reshape the future of XRP. Hey guys, welcome back to Whiteboard Crypto Update. In today's video, we will talk about XRP future. So be sure to stay focused, as you surely don't want to miss out on this. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications by hitting the bell so you never miss any of our uploads. Please remember, this is not a financial advice video. Now let's start from the top. Over the last several days, some very large moves have been happening in the crypto space. Institutions that usually play it safe have begun shifting huge amounts of capital. For example, we recently saw BlackRock, the largest asset manager in the world, make a significant move by selling off a portion of its Bitcoin holdings and loading up on Ethereum. And that's not all. Just yesterday, another wave of buying came through, with reports showing more than 50,000 Ethereum being scooped up, worth nearly $250 million. When we zoom out, analysts like Willy Woo have shown that Ethereum inflows are now almost matching Bitcoin's, hitting close to $1 billion per day. Let that sink in. Nearly $1 billion per day in institutional flows. This trend started with names like Tom Lee encouraging treasury firms to start accumulating ETH, and now it's spreading like wildfire. But here's the real question. What does any of this have to do with XRP? The answer lies in understanding the natural cycle of capital rotation in crypto. Historically, money flows first into Bitcoin, then Ethereum, and then into altcoins with strong fundamentals and utility. Every cycle is played out this way. And right now, Ethereum is experiencing its moment of accumulation. If history repeats itself, XRP is next in line for a major run. Now let's talk about XRP specifically, because the story here is bigger than just repeating a cycle. A recent article revealed that Wall Street institutions are quietly stocking up on XRP while new payment rails are being activated. These aren't just small experiments. We're seeing over 60 firms now planning to hold XRP reserves, which effectively removes tokens from circulating supply. And once again, this isn't speculation. It's happening quietly, but it's happening. Many of you may remember the talk about NDAs, those non-disclosure agreements Ripple had with financial partners. Well, what started as roughly 1,700 NDAs during the early stages of the SEC lawsuit has now grown into thousands. That's because Ripple wasn't just talking to small startups. They've been in discussions with serious institutions like SBI, VivoPower, Trident, WebU, Hyperscale, Flora, and others. These are not random names. These are the same kinds of players that drove Bitcoin adoption in treasury strategies, and now they're shifting their focus toward XRP. This all aligns with what's happening in regulation. We know clarity is coming. We know XRP ETFs are on the horizon, and we know Ripple is moving closer to becoming a licensed banking institution. Once that happens, XRP won't just be a cryptocurrency, it will be used directly as a reserve asset for banks and treasury companies. That changes the entire demand picture. Now, here's where things get really interesting. On-chain data shows that only about 3 billion XRP are currently sitting on exchanges. In the grand scheme of things, that is shockingly low. To add to this, retail interest has dropped sharply. Roughly half of retail holders have left in just the last month, either scared out, shaken out, or distracted by other plays. But while retail walks away, institutions are stepping in, and they are not selling. They are holding. That combination, a drained supply on exchanges, plus heavy accumulation from institutions, creates the perfect recipe for a supply shock. When supply dries up and demand spikes, there's only one possible outcome. Price shoots higher. And that's where we're heading. Remember, Ripple is already partnered with over 300 banks worldwide. These aren't empty promises. These are legally documented relationships. Ripple has been very public about these partnerships, and if they were fake, Ripple would have been destroyed in court long ago. The fact that they survived and decisively won against the SEC tells us everything we need to know. They are legitimate, and they are preparing for mass adoption. Think about what this means. As those 300 banks begin actively using XRP for settlements and reserves, as ETFs go live, and as regulatory clarity opens the door for even more institutions, the available supply of XRP will shrink dramatically. Institutions will hoard XRP the same way companies hoarded Bitcoin during the last cycle, only this time the numbers involved could be even larger. And here's the kicker. XRP is still incredibly cheap. Yes, many of us who followed this journey have been able to accumulate at these levels, but that window won't stay open for long. Once the inflows start and once the supply shock hits, prices won't just creep up, they'll leap. So let's put it all together. We have Bitcoin leading the way, Ethereum now experiencing massive inflows, and XRP sitting in the perfect position to be next. We have Wall Street institutions quietly accumulating. We have Ripple moving toward becoming a bank. We have only a few billion tokens left on exchanges. And we have retail interest at its weakest point, while institutions are at their strongest. This is the recipe for something we haven't seen before, a true XRP supply shock. In my opinion, too many people are underestimating what's about to unfold. They're still focused on short-term noise, while the big players are positioning for the long game. But for those paying attention, the signs are crystal clear. XRP is on the verge of something massive, and when it happens, it won't just be a small pump. It will be a revaluation that shifts the entire landscape of crypto. Well, guys, that's all we have for you today. What are your thoughts on XRP? Get involved and let us know in the comments down below. Thank you.